There's a strange but amusing truth. Attractive men often have no idea they're attractive. Meanwhile, the goofy guys think they're Brad Pitt reincarnated. So today, we're not talking about those who know they're good-looking. We're talking about you, the guy who keeps wondering why she held eye contact just a little longer than usual. And she's not just looking at you, she's scanning you. There are glances that don't aim to communicate, but to discover. She doesn't look at you like she looks at any other passerby. She looks at you as if she's studying every detail of your face, not to judge, but to memorize. Marcus used to think he was just a regular customer at the coffee shop, until he noticed his name had been spelled wrong 5 different ways on 5 different days. No one confuses Marcus with Marlon, Martin, Marcus, or even mucus, unless it's a sneaky trick to spark another conversation. When a woman holds eye contact just a beat longer than normal, it's not just curiosity, it's a form of instinctive interest. Humans are drawn to things they subconsciously want to understand better. And if her eyes stop at you, that's a silent invitation, but one that carries weight. Don't be too quick to brush it off or pretend you didn't notice. Attraction doesn't always come from bold moves. Sometimes it hides in that half-second stare that sets a whole story in motion. 2. She keeps standing just inside your personal space. There are only so many times someone can accidentally end up near you before it stops being an accident. At a BBQ in Texas, on a lawn big enough to host a football game, you're standing near the grill, drink in hand, and she, who was just chatting with her friends across the yard, suddenly happens to be right beside you. Not once, 3 times. She had the whole yard to roam, yet kept choosing the orbit around you, close enough that an elbow tilt could make contact. Don't delude yourself, but don't play dumb either. When a woman reduces the physical distance, it's not poor GPS. It's safety, curiosity, and a touch of attraction. In today's world, everyone protects their personal space and only lets certain people in. If she enters yours without hesitation, maybe you don't need to flirt that hard. Her body already made the move her mind is still deciding on. And sometimes that alone is enough to start a story without a single word. 3. When you speak, they go quiet, then nod, then smile. Some people can talk for hours and no one listens. Others speak once and silence falls. Not because they shout slogans or sound like TED Talk pros, but because something about their presence makes people want to pay attention. You might be telling a completely ordinary story, like the neighbor's dog running away and coming back by itself. And still, people nod as if you just shared classified intelligence. In California, during a startup meeting, a usually quiet engineer decided to speak up. No loud voice, no PowerPoint, no deep tech buzzwords, just a calm sentence. But the whole room froze, like spellbound. And the first thing people asked afterward was, "Who is that guy?" Attraction isn't about word count. It's about making people want to hear more. And to do that, you don't need to be eloquent. You just need to be real enough, still enough, and confident enough for others to realize, wait, this guy doesn't speak much, but when he does, it's worth remembering. 4. The halo effect. You're good looking, so everything you do seems good too. The world isn't fair, but sometimes that unfairness smiles right at you. If you've got a pleasant appearance and a composed demeanor, then even if you show up late, forget to text back, or reply with a dry K, there's still a good chance she'll think he's probably just really busy. That's called the halo effect, when one standout trait, like physical attractiveness, makes people automatically attribute a bunch of other good qualities to you. You look smart, so they assume you're deep. You don't talk much, so they think you're calm and introspective. You ghosted a text. She'll comfort herself with, he's not the kind of guy glued to his phone anyway. Now switch the roles. If you're the guy she never noticed before, that exact same behavior gets translated into, He's rude and inconsiderate. Unfair, absolutely. But also convenient, if you know how to pair your attractiveness with actual kindness. Because one day that halo will fade, and then people will see you exactly as you are. So being handsome alone isn't enough. Make that imagined kindness a real one. 5. Body language gets naturally mirrored. Humans don't just speak with words, they speak with movement, eye contact, and subconscious nods. At a networking event in Miami, this guy casually leaned back in his chair, arms folded, completely unaware that the woman across the table wasn't watching him with her eyes, but with her body. A few minutes later, she had folded her arms the same way, tilted her head in the same direction, even crossed her legs to match. Not because she was playing mirror game, but because her subconscious had recognized harmony and wanted to lean in emotionally. When someone is drawn to you, they'll mirror your body language as a reflex, syncing frequencies. They don't know why they're sitting like you. They just are, and you should know the reason. Don't confuse it with coincidence. This is connection, silent resonance. Two bodies starting a conversation before two mouths do. So if you notice her mimicking you, don't just feel flattered. Feel responsible, because someone is quietly letting you into their emotional space without even saying a word. 6. She says, "I don't know why, but I feel calm around you." Not everyone can smell energy, but everyone can feel it. You don't need $100 cologne or minty gum all day. If your presence makes people relax their shoulders, breathe easier, and suddenly feel more at peace with life, then congrats. You've got aura. A girl in Portland once said that sitting next to a guy made her feel like being near a campfire, warm, calm, and with an urge to share things she's never told anyone. He wasn't classically handsome, didn't speak like a motivational speaker, but he had something others spend a lifetime trying to learn: stillness. The energy you bring into a room isn't something you can hide. If you're restless, people will feel it. If you're calculating, people will sense it. But if you're grounded, sincere, and show up like you have nothing to prove, then you don't have to flirt. You are the flirtation, a quiet invitation to slow down in a world that's constantly rushing. And women, as always, are far more intuitive than you think. They choose men by feeling, not by resume. 7. Other men get a little wary. Men don't often say it out loud, but their eyes can't keep secrets. You walk into a bar, haven't even ordered a drink yet, and already you catch a few side glances, not from women, but from men calculating the threat level. They're not admiring you. They're evaluating, who's this guy? Is she looking at him? Then comes the glance at their girlfriend, as if checking for breaches in the system. That's instinct, because in the male world, some men don't need to speak to make others uneasy. They're not loud. They don't try to dominate, but their presence shifts the gravity in the room. You're not chasing the spotlight. It just naturally leans toward you. And ironically, it's the fact that you're not trying that makes you more threatening. In the game of instincts, women are drawn to quiet power, and men are the first to notice. So if you catch a few furrowed brows, an accidental shoulder bump, or casual questions like, "So, what do you do?" Don't be confused. You're not being disliked. You've just been recognized as a rival, and the game has just begun. 8. You don't explain, you just show up. In a world where everyone's trying to explain, pitch, and market themselves like they're running for office, the silent man becomes the most captivating mystery. You don't need to ramble about achievements or say, "I'm not like other guys." You just need to show up, calm, collected, and unbothered by the silence. Once in Seattle, a girl shared that the guy who impressed her the most was the one who didn't rush to fill the quiet during a first date. He wasn't awkward, didn't bombard her with questions, didn't crack awkward jokes. He just sat there, looked her in the eye, and smiled. And that nothing he did made her feel seen. not talked at. There's a strange charm in a man who doesn't need validation to know his worth. He's not selling himself like a product. He just exists, like a cliff standing tall amid crashing waves, solid and real. And women by instinct are drawn to that. Not because he's perfect, but because he's perfectly okay with not being perfect. Conclusion. If you've read this far and thought, some of this kinda sounds like me, then maybe you don't need to do anything else but keep being you. Just a little calmer, a little more grounded, and with a little less doubt in yourself. Attraction isn't something you put on every morning like a shirt. It's something you radiate when you're not trying to impress. And if someone someday tilts their head and asks, "Do you know how attractive you are?" don't deny it. Just smile, shrug, and say, "I guess I just show up." Thank you for watching till the end. See you in the next video.